The President of the Republic, Nana Danko Akuffo, on Tuesday made a passionate appeal to journalists, political commentators, and the Ghanaian population at large not to abuse the prevailing atmosphere of free speech in the country, as any such mishandling and misjudgment could lead to a negative impact on the territorial integrity of the nation. The President said Ghana is noted for its vibrant media landscape and its endorsement of freedom of expression, particularly under the 4th Republican Constitution, which has been in force for the last 29 years. However, recent developments of disinformation and misinformation in the country's media space have been a source of worry for many well-meaning Ghanaians. Addressing the Muslim community at the National Mosque of Ghana at Kanda in Accra to commemorate the Eid al-Adha celebrations in Ghana, President Akuffo said he and his administration are firm believers of free speech. However, the entire country must be mindful of the fact that unguided utterances could compromise the security of the state, as witnessed in other parts of the African continent, such as Rwanda.
Ulama, let me state that I am a firm supporter of free speech. The government I lead is also a firm supporter of free speech, amply evidenced by the atmosphere of free speech prevailing in the country. However, we must all bear in mind that words can be as incendiary as guns. The Bible tells us that death and life are in the power of the tongue. All it took was the muttering of words by some irresponsible journalists, and amplified by the power of radio, to ignite the tragic genocide in Rwanda. It is important for all of us to recognize that there's only one country we call home, and that is Ghana. We must protect our way of life in the words of the National Pledge, with all our strength and with all our hearts. We shouldn't allow the actions and utterances of a few misguided persons to jeopardize and destroy the united Ghana we currently possess, which is the envy of many in the continent and in the world.
President Akuffo used the occasion to congratulate the Muslim community as they celebrate Eid al-Adha and called on all Muslims to emulate the example of the Prophet Muhammad and sacrifice for the building of the Ghana we all desire.
National Chief Imam, Ulama, Jama'ah, I'm sure that I can continue to count on the support of the Muslim Ummah in Ghana for the development of Mother Ghana. Let us make merry and be happy this day, but let us celebrate in moderation. We need one another alive for the task of nation building. May God bless us all in our homeland Ghana and make her great and strong. Salam alaikum.
Chief Imam Sheikh Dr. Osman Nuhu Sharabutu offered prayers for the nation and the leaders of the country and called on Allah to bestow His blessings on the nation. During the festival of Eid al-Adha, Muslims acknowledged the devotion of Ibrahim, who was willing to sacrifice his son Ismail under the order of Allah. Ibrahim, also known as Abraham, is a prominent figure in Islam, Judaism, and Christianity.
الحمد لله مبدئ ومعيد الفعال لما يريد وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ذو العرش المجيد وأشهد أن سيدنا محمد رسول الله أعظم الرسل وأفضل العبيد صلى الله عليه وسلم وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن اقتدى بهم إلى يوم الدين.
The Vice President, Alhaji Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, has called for an enhanced national dialogue on the sustainable exploitation of Ghana's minerals, forest and wildlife resources to ensure that the lives of the living and generations yet unborn are not adversely affected by unregulated exploitation. Warning: that the nation risks losing its forest cover as well as the many beautiful rivers and streams if negative practices such as illegal mining and indiscriminate wood harvesting and burning are not curtailed. Dr. Bawumia called for increased collaboration and engagements with stakeholders, especially those directly affected by such activities, to address the looming danger. The Vice President made a clarion call at the second regional consultative dialogue on small-scale mining and deforestation at Tamale in the northern region.
Many livelihoods also depend on mining and the exploitation of forest resources. The contribution of the mineral and forest resources to our national development agenda can therefore not be overemphasized. However, the exploitation of these resources have not been without certain negative impacts on the natural environment because of the unsustainable practices that we employ. Notable amongst the negative practices are illegal mining leading to pollution of water bodies, chemical pollution, and so on, indiscriminate wood harvesting, and bush burning leading to deforestation, improper agricultural practices, and even conflicts. Your Majesty Chair, the northern sector of Ghana lies within a fragile ecological setting and therefore has its own peculiar challenges as far as natural resource exploitation is concerned. The north is particularly challenged with forest degradation as a result of the overexploitation of trees, especially rosewood, for export, and excessive reliance on fuel, wood, and charcoal production. These continue to be major challenges, including rampant annual fires, which have dire consequences on climate change and its adverse impacts on our livelihoods and attainment of the Sustainable Development Goal.
Vice President Bawumia re-emphasized that a discussion on sustainable exploitation devoid of politics is the best way to arrive at a national solution.
Sustainability is key in our quest to exploit our diverse minerals, forest, and wildlife resources to ensure that we are able to meet our present needs without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. Ghana has beautiful and majestic rivers and streams. Unfortunately, today, there's not much to celebrate about our water bodies and wildlife habitats because of unacceptable mining and logging practices and other drivers of deforestation. Ladies and gentlemen, we have gathered here today not only to dialogue on the ways to resolve the negative footprints which we have inflicted on our environment, but we are also here to agree on the way forward in ensuring that we undertake responsible, viable, and sustainable exploitation of our natural resources in order to preserve what is left for the benefit of posterity. It is against this background that I consider the theme for this dialogue, which is sustainable small-scale mining and forest conservation. The call for the national dialogue is to enable us to have a national consensus on sustainable methods of using minerals and forest resources of our country without appealing to partisanship. Indeed, issues relating to the exploitation of our natural resources are aspects of our national life which must be insulated from partisan politics.
The Vice President reminded the participants to recognize the need for all to put their shoulders to the wheel and to stop the negative distraction in our communities as responsible citizens.
Illegal mining and logging on our lands and our forests happen within communities. We are aware of these illegal activities as members of these communities, while recognizing that those engaged in illegal mining and logging activities have livelihood concerns. We should also equally recognize that their activities have adverse impacts on farmers, on our food security, and on our common survival. Everyone here today should be and is concerned about this dangerous menace.
The Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Samuel Abujinapo, for his part, reiterated government's determination to engage all stakeholders in pursuit of its objective to end illegal small-scale mining and to protect the nation's forests and green cover.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the avoidance of doubt, permit me to reiterate the policy of the government of President Nana Addo Dankwa Akuffo on small-scale mining, which is to build a responsible, viable, and sustainable small-scale mining industry, which repudiates practices which compromise the environment. As it is well known, government is prosecuting several interventions to tackle the canker of illegal small-scale mining and its attendant consequences on the environment and our very survival. A strong small-scale mining industry is emerging in the north, especially in the Upper East, and the earlier we enhance regulation at this embryonic stage, the better for the future of the industry. The clampdown of illegal mining is unavoidable. However, while government takes steps to sanitize this industry, we recognize that many of our compatriots in the mining regions of our country are inevitably going to lose their employment and livelihoods. Government, through the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, is therefore in the process of formulating a comprehensive alternative employment and livelihood scheme for illegal miners affected by the ongoing effort to clean up the sector. This program will in due course be outdoored by the President of the Republic.
The first dialogue, which was held in Kumasi, followed the national dialogue in Accra, which was opened by the President Nana Addo Dankwa Akuffo.
President Nana Addo Dankwa Akuffo has expressed worry over the recent increase in COVID-19 cases, saying the nation cannot afford another hit of the pandemic. Speaking at the Idil Adha celebration in Accra on Tuesday, the president stated that the increasing number of infections was an indication that the country had relaxed in its fight against the disease. He therefore entreated all to comply with the safety protocols to avoid a full-blown third wave.
The COVID-19 pandemic is still with us, unfortunately. And this has meant that for the second year running, we are having to hold a subdued Eid celebration. As we continue to count on the grace of God to protect our country from the ravages of the pandemic, like we have done since its outbreak, we can only minimize its health effects and avoid a full-blown third wave if we continue to be responsible and observe the safety and hygiene protocols. The recent increase in the number of infections is a source of worry for me and indeed for all Ghanaians. From the rising numbers, it is safe to conclude that we have let our guard down and we're beginning to live our lives and conduct our businesses as though we are in normal times.
He stressed that government was determined and would ensure that 20 million Ghanaians were inoculated for the disease before year end. Whilst urging the Muslim community in Ghana to subdue all celebrations associated with the Islamic feast, he implored all to keep up their guard in order for the country not to erode against its made due to the measures taken by government to contain the effect of the disease when it broke out early last year.
The Ministry of Health is working hard to ensure that even in the midst of a global shortage of vaccines, the target that we have set for ourselves that is the vaccination of the adult population of Ghana, i.e. some 20 million Ghanaians, is undertaken. Until that goal is achieved, I will continue to count on the support and cooperation of the Ghanaian people to ensure our collective security.
Ghana, he noted, was recovering from the scourge of the pandemic and was faring better than most other countries devastated by the disease, and all must be done to preserve those gains which had kept investors confident in the nation's economy, with many more intending to pitch camp in Ghana.
In many economies around the world, due to the effects of COVID-19, governments are finding it difficult to attract the needed investments in the productive areas of their economies. However, our situation appears to be different, as the investor community continues to cast a vote of confidence in our economy, and several companies are making investments in our economy that will create jobs for the young people of our country. The latest notable example is the Toyota Vehicle Assembly Plant, which I commissioned on 29th of June 2021. In spite of the difficulties of the COVID era, we continue to fund all our flagship programs. We continue to provide the basic amenities of life to our people, and we're determined to continue in that respect. As has been well, it is important to repeat that the virus is still with us. And until each and every one of us receives a double dose of the vaccine, the protocols must continue to be a part and parcel of our daily activity.
Meanwhile, as of Thursday, July 17, Ghana had recorded 342 new cases in 2 days. This brings the cumulative number of active cases to 3,446, with a death toll of 817. According to the Ghana Health Service, the country has recorded a total of 99,734 cases of the virus since it confirmed its first 2 cases in March last year. The number of persons who have recovered and discharged stood at 95 and 451, respectively, with 26 persons in severe conditions and 15 others in critical condition.